I'm going to tell you a story about Kat. Kat had always nursed a longing to travel to Mecca. He had heard so much about the holy place that he promised himself to go there to perform the fifth pillar of Islam before he got too old. 3 months prior to the Hajj period, Kat told his neighbors and friends that he intended to go to pilgrimage to Mecca. He left his village and returned home safely 3.5 months later. News of Kat's return circulated among the other animals. They decided to go and formally welcome him. This was the tradition. The rats gathered at the home of the eldest member among them to decide on what to say when they visited. The eldest started thus. Members of the clan, as you know, Kat has returned from his pilgrimage. We are expected to go and congratulate him on his successful visit to the Holy Land. Being able to go and return home safely is a major achievement. Our accepted practice in this area dictates that when a pilgrim returns home, he or she narrates his experience or her experience to visitors. Also, the pilgrim has to talk about what has been learned from scholars in Mecca. I suspect Kat will try to criticize everybody, but I will not allow him to belittle some of our practices. If he does, I'll point out some mistakes he had made. He would be offended, of course, and I expect him to react. So all of you should make sure that when we go to see him, be within easy reach of a hole. If things get ugly, you can easily dash for refuge. The rats accepted their elders' advice. They formed a big group and went to visit Kat. As expected, he started with the narrative of his experience with pride. Kat then went on. The journey to the Holy Land took almost 3 months, as we had to walk on foot. We met many other animals, some of them wild and others tame. We avoided being too naughty and violent because of our mission. There were times when we found it difficult to get anything to eat or even drink. We did our best to survive. At Mecca, everything was different. The rich fed us, the pilgrims, every day. This was in observance of the rule of zakat, which dictates that charity be given by the rich from what they had amassed over a year. The adherence to this rule is eagerly welcomed. As for the surrounding, it is beautiful. The Holy Land has many beautiful mosques. I have never seen such splendor in my life. Lights in the mosque, no matter how many, never go off. That place is blessed. Electricity companies know no struggle to provide services. It is an oil-rich nation. Did you see many other cats there? Asked the eldest rat. Of course. Do you think there are no cats and rats in the Holy Land? There are lots of white cats. I also saw rats in some of the big provision shops. Those ones are very fast when they move. They seem difficult to catch, although I did not try, explained the returned pilgrim. After serving the guests with some dates, Kat moved on to preach about good virtues and habits. He continued. In life, it's advisable to avoid playing evil games on others. It's not right to go into a human being's house and steal the food he or she has kept for the family to eat the next day. We all know how badly we've treated farmers in this area. They toil hard on the soil and grow their cassava and sweet potatoes. When crops mature, culprits wait for nightfall, go to the farm, dig out the big tubers and either eat parts of them or take them in their hoods. Religion frowns on these practices. These evil deeds should stop. The eldest rat nodded in agreement, and in the end he added, "You know, I'd like to buttress what you have just said. Religion guides us on the way we should behave. I have seen how some of us could be so inconsiderate in our actions. Once I came across a poor herdsman who left his home in the early hours of the morning to take his herd of cattle to graze up the plains. The rain fell and stopped as he guided his cattle to areas where he could find green grass. Towards dusk, he returned with his cattle to their shed. He tethered and then milked them. He stepped into his house to get a light cloth to sieve the milk.